Namaste, dear learners. Today I will talk about management of Library Information Center. It's under the discipline of Masters of Library and Information Science. It's under the module Management Perspectives, and it has got a different 40 units. Out of this, it's Unit 7. Unit 7 is a management functions. It's organizing. The management functions I've told you last time: learning, organizing, coordinating, etc. So now I'll talk about management functions organizing. I am Professor Arun Kumar Chakraborty, course coordinator. I am also SME, the subject matter experts in this topic. So in this unit, the management functions organizations will be discussed. So by the end of the unit 7, learners will understand the importance of management in libraries, functions of organizational structure, and working of organizational structures along with their models. The learners will also get acquainted with the basis for departmental processes and principles of library structure and related aspects. So, the learning outcomes, what should be the learning outcomes? Why you should do this course? Understand the 5 functions to the management, planning, structure, staffing, leading, and controlling, and describe the meaning and functions of the organizational structure that will be discussed in this subject. Apply the principles and procedures for creating an organizational structure for a library. Get the basis for departmentalizations and enumerate organizations charts, highlighting the interconnections, interrelations, and interdependence between the units of an organization. So this is table of content. You can see the introductions, organizing, principles of planning, organizing structures, models of organizing structures, matches of good organization structures, authority and characteristics, features, elements, delegations, it's important, committees, collective decision making, rule activities, summary, exercises, and references. So in the earlier unit, the concept of management and various schools of library thought was emerged over the years were introduced. And management functions planning has also been discussed under Unit 6. This unit will deal with the management functions organizing. One of the managerial functions, namely organizing, involves analyzing, combining, and coordinating activities. Results of organizing is a creation of an organizational structure. So management functions, once we are planning, it deals with the talking out of a future course of actions and deciding in advance the most appropriate course of actions for achievement of predetermined goals. Then organizing is according to Henry Furl, to organize a business to provide it with everything useful or functioning, that is raw material, tools, capitals, and personnel. Management functions, staffing, functions of managing the organizational structure and keeping it manned. And manned, how is this manned? Then leading, it involves influencing employees to finish tasks appropriately by motivating them and aligning their interests with the company's goals. Then controlling, it implies the measurement of accomplishment against the standards and corrections of deviations, if any, to ensure achievement of organizing goals. Then what is organizing? Planning provides the necessary scheme for attaining a set of goals. It requires human effort to translate into the plan into an actions. And organizing is the process of devising the mechanism through which the efforts of people are directed and coordinated towards a goal of achievement. So organizational structure, and organizational structure is built around the analysis of activities, responsibilities for decisions, and relationship which enables attain the objectives. Like if we see in the library process, directors of information, level 1 librarian, level 2 deputy librarian, level 3 assistant librarian, and the level 4 the different professional assistants. So if we see then any of the organizational structure, we can see I've given a one kind of such kind of examples. It can, you can give a university structure, library structures could be a different, a school library structure could be different, a academic library structure could be different. So different library structure will be a different platform. So I have given a one examples of the public library structure, how it is the director of public library, local library authority, comprehensive activities of this, and then the joint organizer, deputy director, library director, this kind of this activity. You can see how this process goes. I have given just one example. We can find from the different sources. I have given also source. From the different sources, you will get the different examples of the different. So models of organizational structure. A study of the evolution of formal organizational structure shows 5 major forms. One is that we are bureaucrats, then departmentalations, then project organizations, then matrix, and the network. These are the forms of the models of the organizational structure. Like any model, we can take, there are different models are there. I have taken one kind of model like bureaucratic, departmentalations, project organizations, then matrix, and the network. Bureaucratic structure, what is a bureaucratic structure? We all know that what is a bureaucratic structure. Major features of the bureaucratic structures are control and supervision through the creation of a hierarchy or positions vested with authority and responsibility. So the very, very important aspects of the any of the bureaucratic structure. Systematic division of labor according to the competency and the specialization. Framing of rules and regulations to ensure uniformity, coordination of efforts, continuity, and stability. Then impartial relationship to achieve unbiased execution. Then we have a departmentalization. This structure involves a rational grouping of activities into divisions, departments, groups, and sections with the authority diminishing hierarchy lower over down the time. And departmentalization by subject, territory, and type of documents are the most common pattern found in libraries. Selection of a criteria for departmentalization must result in homogeneous unity and capable of achieving objectives. Then project organization, the complexity of operations, numerous components and agencies to be dealt with, fixed time schedule of delivery, the need for a great deal of planning, research, coordination, and control are features of common to the large projects. The project organization that has evolved cut across the classical vertical organizational structure, introducing horizontal and diagonal relationships. So matrix organization, organizations which an enterprise is dealing with the multiple products or well-defined projects. Organization on the basis of products or projects is a defined methods of divisions of work and responsibility. So this structure creates a dual reporting relationship for each employee, with one person for functional based communication and another for the product based communication. So network organization, this structure allows the company to focus on what it does best while outsourcing other activities. So other organizational structure, decentralization. This structure allows the employees to impact business decisions. So these are the most important part. Departmentalization. This process of groups job together to coordinate common activities, tasks. Formalizations. This determines the procedure and rules of a company. In hierarchical structure, the structure groups of employees and assign them as a supervisor. Team-based structure, this structure organizes employees teams, by projects, or a product. Feature of a good organizational structure, you should have a clear line of authority. The organizational structure should have a clear hierarchy authority, proper delegation of authority. The organization should delegate authority clearly and properly. Minimum possible management levels. The organization should have a few managerial levels possible. Proper emphasis on staff. The organization should place proper emphasis on its staff. And the feature of a good organization structure, which is a provision for top management. Organization should have a provision for top management. The unity of command and direction, simplicity, application of the multiple ultimate authority, flexibility, and continuity. So, what is authority? Authority is characterized as the institutionalized and legal power inherent in a job role or position that allows the holder of the job to perform his or her responsibilities effectively. It is aligned officially with the legality. Additionally, true authority often means that the authority is recognized by the aim. So, authority, in short, the authority can be defined as legitimate right to a decision that may be given or assigned, entitlement to command, the right to see that the decision is implemented properly and honestly. So, authority and its characteristics, liability authorities is the powerful and responsibility to control and direct libraries activities. Then it can be held by a person or group of people, and it's more commonly found in the public libraries. And term library authority is less common in the academic or special libraries, where the board of the directors or top management can be considered the secret authority. So, authority and characterization, power. Library authority has the power to make decisions, control activities, and distribute rights and responsibilities. What is the responsibility? Library authority is responsible for using its power of responsibility and its best interest to the library. This includes making decisions, enforcing rules, allocating resources. Authority and characteristics, accountability. Once authority comes with accountability. What is the library authority is accountable to those it serves, as well as to higher authorities. This means being answerable for its actions and decisions. Hierarchy. Library authority is often structured in a hierarchy with the different levels of authority based on positions. Higher authority level authority have more control over resources and policies. Authority and characteristics, basis for getting things done, implementation, legitimacy, and the decision making. The features of authority. So it is the ultimate organizing power, and it unites the various individuals who work in the company. It can be company, it can be industry for this. So features of the different authority has got a different features. So we should know which authority applies in what purpose. So it is used to the accomplish organizational goals and differentiating authority from power. So we have to understand that the any authority is given, the authority's objective is to find out the accomplish the organizational goals. The organizational goals means that's the management planning. On that planning, the organizational goals has been set up. And once the organizational goals has been setting by a committee, by a member, by a group, and that goal has to be achieved. So that is the defining authority from the power. So a different authority has got a different power to determine that what should be the organizational goals and how this organizational goals authority will delegate their power. So power is referred to ability influence the attitude and behavior of an individual, whereas authority is particular authorization about from the higher end. Means the referred to as ability, how you influence the attitude. Because the authority is given, you have to see that attitude of the work. The attitude and behavior of the individual is given that authority. One authority can give, yes, he is very amiable to the persons, but he has an authority, he says that job has to be done. So that's the most important part, how you get the particular authorization and control and obtain higher end. Most authority or any authorization obtained, it should be how we should get higher end, how should end result should be a productive. That is the most important part of an authority. Authority cannot do anything of the like such kind of things. So future of the authority, it is an individual legitimate right. Authority is that individual's legitimate right. Means the right of the person who is authorized to do that job. That means the person who is authority, he is giving a legitimate right. That means another authority has given his right that you should exercise this power. So that individual, and when the individual has been trusted to work that part work, so he is having that authority to do that work in a successfully. So that means authority also changes the bureaucratic structures, hierarchical structures according to the authority comes. Authority is the everybody is having an authority, but according to the hierarchical structure. So it enables staff to be determined by the place holders, and this means the right to seek compliance. So we have to enable that. The how the management sees there is a compliance, whether the work structure, what is the management structure, what is the manpower, what is the resources, how it should and seek the compliance, how it should be done. So it is a practical in a certain manner. So we have to see that how it is practically it can be done in a different manner, how to control, how to make actions, how to make the subordinates actions of subordinates. Because until unless the action is being taken by the subordinates, work cannot be done. So that means authority and bureaucratic structure that has to be very, very delineated. The power and responsibilities has to be given correctly. Until unless we delegate the power and responsibilities correctly, the achievement, the objectives will not be gained. So that way we have to gain the objectives. So it moves within the organization from top to bottom. So we have told that anything of this organization, it goes from the top to bottom. It can be a vice chancellor and then the head of the department, vice chancellor, pro vice chancellor, head of the department, or different university has got a different structure. Different library has got a different library structure. Librarian may be reporting to the vice chancellor and then he is authority, or maybe he is reporting to the pro vice chancellor, or librarian may be reporting to the director. It depends on the organization. If it is a university system, it has to be an organization. If it is a public library systems, it could be a public library director, he could be an IAS officer, he could be a junior IAS officer, senior IAS officer, or anyone which will be handed over. So all this authority and the authority is being given the top to bottom. So there is a policy making, and the policy making in the institute, they are telling the policy holders, yes, you make the authority and give the authority to such and such and such, delegate the power. So accordingly, the authority goes and the power goes, and these things will be done. So elements of the authority. So there are 5 elements of the authority. Usage of power. The usage of power is the most important, because usage of power does not mean that you have a power and then you will be, that is the power means that could be a usage, not the misusage. We have to remember that power means we have authority, power which comes with a responsibility, power is comes with a deliberation. So that means the usage. Justice, power means you have a justice, power means a flexibility, power means to get the things done. So usage of power, how we utilize our usage power. If we misuse our power, if we're taking the money from this one, that one, this misuse of power. So power means that means is a once the person has given you power, we have to think of that this power is given for the good purposes. The objective of the power is to deliver the good things. Then influential personality. That will be influential personality who is giving the elements of the authority, because there is influential personality. Then in different cases, it can be director, it can be VC, it can be minister, or it can be a governor, or different kinds of influential personalities there. Or in a business, the person who owns the business, this can say. Then comes the performance, because usage of power and then influence of personality, how the people are working performance. Each level of work, it has to be performance, has to be seen. Until unless each level of work we see the performance, will be not be able to deliver kinds of things. So effective leadership. So, and then comes the effective leadership. Effective leadership is the most important part for any of the objectives to attain. because if we do not have effective leadership, we will not able to achieve the goals. And effective leadership is a very, very important. Effective leadership is from the top to bottom. Top to bottom. If the first top persons, if he has a effective leadership, the automatically leadership, the things fall in the line. And if the top bottom is not, the leadership is any weakness, then it falls down. So that means that not only that, in every level, because top management, middle management, lower management, in everywhere the leadership is required. Someone has to take and then influence the subordinates. So we have to influence the subordinates. We have to see that, because work done by the subordinates, we have to, that if we find that we are not able to influence them, that to get the things done, we will not be able to give the objectives. Now we'll talk about the relationship between authority and responsibility. Authority can be defined as the legal rights of a person or superior to command his subordinates. Why? Because if we do not have a legal rights to tell a person to do this job, then how he will do that job? Because how I should say that you can do it? If I tell someone do this job, you will get this much amount of payment. Until unless I have a right to tell that, I cannot tell anyone. I cannot get things done anyone which is not holding the responsibility of mine. So I have to have a legal rights. The person who is being assigned to do the job, he should have a legal rights of a person or a superior, and he should be a superior, command his subordinates. Because if the legal rights used to be there, because a person, the junior cannot command to the subordinates. The subordinates cannot command the superior. Superior has to command. So it is a hierarchy structure. What I told you, that authority should be always the authorities and responsibility relationship. So on the other hand, accountability refers to the duty of an individual to carry out the performance as per the company standards. So any company standards or library standards, whatever they may be, or in university standards. So it's means accountability refers. If we do not have any accountability, then the persons you have given the job, he may not do that job, he will not deliver the job. If he is accountable, yes, I am assigned this job, I have to deliver on that particular time with that much flexibility, that much quality, everything. If I have given this one, then only I will do. If I am taking exam, I have to be accountable. Yes, this exam will be held on a proper day and proper time. So those kind of accountability. If a library comes, it should be accountability. Yes, if a user comes and if he wants that particular book, if the book is available, he should be getting that book in available. So somebody, if he is not available, there should be an accountability of that person. So that kind of things has to be made for the library, for the quality. Until unless we do that, quality cannot be increased. So direction of the flow of authority is from superior to subordinates. I am telling that it cannot go from the subordinate to superior, because if we have, we can get the advice from the subordinate. It's always there, but final decision has to be taken from the superiors. It's not that, it should not be an ego problem of kind of things. Should not, the authority is from that. That's also the flexibility of the authority. Authority also has to be flexible, because they have to get the things done in that way. So accountability is a result of responsibility, and responsibility in turn is achieved through the authority. Therefore, authority and accountability always go hand in hand. You have to understand that how accountability and accountability and authority, if they do not go in hand, the work cannot be done. Any of the organizational structure of this organization, we cannot achieve any objective if the relationship between the authority and the responsibility should be merged. So, importance of delegation. Why we should delegate the power? We have to know that why we are delegating the power. We have to know that why importance of delegation. Why we are delegating the power. A practical sense. If he wishes to achieve his targets, it is unavoidable that the delegate his authority. So for your target, we have to give it delegation. If we do not tell them, yes, you have to do this job within this time, and then you have to give them authority, yes, you can do this way, that way, and whatever time you come. If we say no, you have to do this, you can still them step by step approach. What is the approach should be taken? But delegation of the authority, but he should be able to, what person who is giving target, he should be having an authority to do that particular job. Otherwise, he will not deliver, able to deliver the things. Then delegation of authority here means divisions of authority. and powers downwards to the subordinate and workers downward the power structure. So these are the things we have to think of that. Then delegation basically involves sharing of work with someone else, usually a group people to do parts of the managerial job. Because until it's delegation, because if in a library there are something about we have to do the job, classification, cataloging, e-resource managing, serial control managing. If we have to deal, yes, this person will be doing the circulation work, this person will be doing the categorical acquisition work, this person will be doing the cataloging work, processing work of cataloging, classification, this person will be involved for the reference services, this person is involved the computerized by resource center. So those kind of people do not give a delegation of the power, and in each section there will be a group of people. So we have to see that group of people, because say if we are doing the classification, if the group of people are working the same thing, if we are not managing the same way, then there will be mismatch of the classification scheme, there will be a mismatch of the cataloging, there will be a mismatch of the entry. So that means people, a group of people, what they are doing, they have to do the job accordingly, how they can do this important of the job. So importance of the delegation of authority is a structural way of relieving the management position work beyond the capacity. What is important? Why the delegation is of authority is a structural way. We are telling the receiving the end, because until if we say that if you are not giving the structural way relieving the managerial position, then you cannot give the capacity. Because that same example what I have given for serial control, who is the serial, who, how it should be ordered, how the process of selection should be, there should be selection. All these things that is authority, and if that's a structural way which does not make sense, we will not be able to deliver of that kind of things. So if one look close enough, it is through the delegation that a manager or superior multiples himself by dividing or multiplying his work with the subordinates. So that means we can divide the work, we can multiply the work. If it may happen, sometimes some worker is already ill, but it's not well doing well, not well. So we can manage, yes, divide the work and do the things of this. Whenever he is not when but we are well, we're not well, then we can the work can be shared. So that is a shared responsibility, dividing, multiplying of the work, because that should be a team. Until unless we have a team, authority and responsibility will not work for the goal, to attain the goal or objectives. So this is the most important part, how we attain the goal and objectives of these things. Then committees and collaborative collective decision making. So any decision making is not the individual decision, should be a committee, because until and unless once we decide in a group or authority, then there should be a committee. The committee is the top management. The committee can be a university library, there is a library committee, or departmental committee of the school library committee, college library committee, university library committee, then the public library committee, different level of the corporate organizations. Every organization has got a different committee. So the organizational function increasing use of committees and the aid of the top management. So these committees may take different names like board. Some people say the committee is a board. Some people say it's a committee. Some people say it's a library committee, LC, maybe permanent or ad hoc in standing their primary objectives. There can be ad hoc committee. There can be a standing committee, because there's a standing committee, statutory committee. All the university has got a different committee, library committee, statutory committee. Because in the until unless that if the committee has to also the powers and responsibility, that also should be under the act, so that the process of work or division of work or the division of work or the delegation of the authority, delegation of the work can be done in a systematic manner. So too much authority in a single person, and so that means if we do not make an authority in a collective way, then it will be too much authority. A single person, one man show. If it becomes a one man show, suddenly something happened to that man, that can be done. Yes, that should be a leadership. Leadership is a different, and the one man show is different. Leadership will say that whatever the decision by the committee, the leadership will take the things to the achieve the goals. That is the most thing. Leadership and the committee is completely different. So the cabinet committee decides what how the major things can be done. So that way, everything has to be done and things we think that way. So a plural executive is a system where the executive power is distributed among multiple individuals or institutions rather than being concentrated in a single leader. So this system is used in some US states, including the Texas and Switzerland, and everywhere. This even in the India, also same things. So I would summarize this organizing. What is the summarization of the organizing? Is a function of management which follows planning. It is a function of which the synchronization and combination of human, physical, and financial resources takes place. All the three resources are important to get the results because you have to think of human, physical, and financial resources. If any one of these things is not there, we will not be able to achieve any kind of things. So all the three resources are important to get any results. So therefore, the organizational functions helps in achievement of results, which is in fact important for the functions of the corners. So we have given some of the short questions, discuss the importance of organizing. I have to already given, then mention any two types of organizational structures. We have given different organizational structures. Draw an organizational chart for a college library. So I have given a public library environment, so you have to go for a college library or a university library. This kind of questions always comes. It can have a 5 marks, 6 marks, or something like that, and discuss the brief relationship between the authority and responsibility, what I have already told. Then, learners, I have given some of the MCQ. All of these MCQ, you can see that there are 5 functions of management are planning, staffing, leading, and coordinating. So this one, which is a O, what is for the B, B for organizing. Then the 5 elements of usage of power, influential personality, performance, effective leadership, and what is that? One is the to influence the subordinate, that is that to influence the subordinate. Why these 5 elements are there? I have already told this one. These are the usage of power. There are 5 elements of the authority. One is that to influence the subordinate, because these are the things how we can do that. Then MCQ 3 is that a dash is a system where executive power is distributed among multiple individual or institutions rather than being concentrated on a single leader. So hierarchical, directional, bureaucratic, and plural executive. We know that it is a plural executive because I told you the plural systems, the executive systems is a very important combative systems. There are a lot of reading lists I have given. You can see that what are the reading list. If you go through this all reading list, you will learn a lot of things to be there. So I hope learners this will benefit to you. This is not only for the attaining the course content of this one. You can also say anytime you can see, or even if you are appearing for an interview or if you are appearing for other questions, that can be helped. This is not only for the open university learners, it can be utilized by any of the regular course and contemporary art. So, or even anybody is appearing for interview, this will be there. Thank you very much for my things. I hope it will be help you for your growth. Thank you.